Andrew, that in all seriousness was a big win. I think a big win for this regime. They had faced adversity, the coaching staff, the organization, with the whole soft thing that got blown out of proportion, in my opinion. And they came back and they won in a way that was the furthest thing from soft to a 7-point favorite. A 7-point favorite on the road. They 2 drives to win that game. That was impressive. Your thoughts?
Completely agree. I mean, we can say it's both an ugly game, 2-6 team versus now another 2-6 team. But in the end, the Patriots made the plays they had to make. And that was that drive at the end, after losing your starting quarterback, after getting called out by your head coach, and really, again, still without a running game. Like, the best part to me was, in the second half, they finally played the football that they said they were going to all week. Like, they stopped the Jets, who got 3 yards per carry. They ran the ball well enough, and they made clutch plays at the end. That's a tough team, and especially 4th and goal at the 1. Like, say what you will about the NFL, the Patriots, whatever. Like, this is the beauty of that game. The week you're called out as soft, you have to go and make the toughest play in football. Game on the line, your identity on the line, your pride on the line. They went and did it. They won. Good for them.
Yeah. All right. So that happens. And while I'm thinking about it, we played Belichick's audio. This is not the greatest interviewing technique, but I'm going to switch gears here. Josh Uche was traded for 2026 6th-round pick. Belichick was saying, he was out of his mind. No, he wasn't. He was just saying that it was a bad trade. And he would know because he's built such a great squad here. What is your feeling on moving Uche and the return they got?
So I thought Uche was going to be moved last year when Bill was still here. Obviously, he stayed. They re-signed him to a 1-year, $3 million contract this offseason. I don't bring that up as filler. I bring that up as to say that's basically what his value was in the open market. And him and his representation claim they took less to be here. And if he did, good for him. A lot of players wouldn't do that. But I can't imagine that he passed up double, which would then bring him to what? $6 million. So the league at large told you, we don't really value the way Josh Uche is valued in New England. And even in New England, they only gave him $3 million. So to Belichick, I would say you could have gotten more yourself a year ago when he was coming off of that big season. What was it, 11.5 sacks in 2022?
Something like that.
Right?
Yeah.
And so he's a situational player. I think he'll play better in Kansas City. There was just something about the system here in the fit that just never got the best out of him, because you look at him and be like, he's clearly a talented guy.
What percentage of the snaps does he play?
He has never crossed 38% of snaps in a single season.
Okay, so that shows where they valued him here.
But here's the thing, though. Not all snaps are created equal, right?
Right.
Like, you could run up your snaps in garbage time, and when he's playing third down means more than 1st and 10 in the first quarter, right?
The point is,
he's a pass rushing specialist for the Patriots. All right,
yeah.
So which, by the way, you can make a lot of money doing. I mean, if you're a pass rushing specialist,
you better get home. He only had 3 sacks last year.
I don't know what Belichick's talking about, but I am a little obsessed with this, and that Patriot fans are still fond of him.
Well, I mean, he brought them 6 Super Bowls. that's
yeah,
an
but I don't. But you can like someone and then go like, wow, they've turned into like a real piece of crap. So, what do you make? Were you a Patriots fan growing up?
I was.
Okay, what do you make of him? To take off, you're not a journalist right here, because this is an emotional question. Just like I said, when you're 16, the team you like is the team you like for the rest of your life. What do you make of him going out and crapping on everything the Patriots do?
Look, I want to go back a second, because I think people will hear that yes and then jump to like, you're the 33-year-old ball guy I've known as a reporter. Like, that doesn't count. Like, some of the greatest memories I had as a kid was watching the New England Patriots. And I'm not even talking Super Bowls. AFC championships. Bethel Johnson returns a kickoff. Halftime 2003. They're at Indianapolis. I think it was week 9. Goes for a touchdown. I'm running around my yard like the house is on fire. Okay? Like, that excited about what was going on. You fast forward. I think Belichick acknowledged finally after Patriots win, which granted there's only been 2, gave Jacoby Brissett credit for the drive at the end, showed some toughness on defense. No word about Mayo. I think his contentions are with Gerard and with ownership for obvious reasons. When you go to recent comments by Kraft, who agreed with Belichick to do this whole display of a mutual parting of the ways when Bill was fired, something that Robert recently revealed in another unforced error, PR-wise, by the Patriots on a podcast, nonetheless, about coming together and mending fences, reveals, no, I actually fired him. And Gerard, of course, is on his staff and replaced Bill in a way that obviously Belichick wasn't fond of. So I think that's what it is for him. This isn't business for Belichick. It's personal.
Okay, but that would be great if he was just going roughshod, but he also wants a coaching job. So, so here's my thing, is that he, for so many years, passed himself off as superior to everyone else. That's correct. You can agree that he handled himself that way. To the media, the way he carried himself, he was better than everyone, correct?
I think, yes. In the end, the arrogance, you saw it at 29 and 39 when you're rolling out rosters going, you think you're going to win with this? Like, you're the greatest coach of all time, but no one can do that.
But beyond even, like, as a coach, like, he as being, like, a superior human being to the plebeians out there. Do you agree with that?
So I don't have enough personal experience, Fred, to be able to tell you.
His public persona.
I'll tell you this. I know there are folks, and this happened to me too, see you at the end of the hallway, like you've heard many times about Robert Kraft, or in the airport or in an elevator, and guy just looks right past you, doesn't say a word. So that's the best I can speak to what I think you're getting to. That's it. And this is not some sort of great sin, oh my God, the 11th commandment that he broke, like saying hello to your neighbors going down the hallway.
No. But don't you find it odd that, and then I'll stop with Belichick and we'll focus on the Patriots. Do you find it odd that this guy that ran around acting superior to everyone else is now taking selfies in corn mazes and taking petty shots at his old team?
Yeah.
Like me taking petty shots at my old partner is on brand, and I'm still competing.
No one holds you up as
no one.
As a
I
great
don't.
person.
I hold myself up. I'm an alcoholic mess. But I don't hold myself up. That's how I sleep at night.
This question feels like a corn maze. What was that doing? Belichick? What is happening?
But
there's a question in there.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Don't you find it
relax, Andrew?
Don't you think it's hypocritical that someone who acted so superior to everyone else is now behaving like this?
See, there it is.
Or at least open to ridicule.
I don't know how he's reacted to any kind of ridicule. I am not surprised that he has sometimes taken the low road because that's what he did as the head coach. Like Eric Mangini takes a head coaching job in a way that his boss does not approve, the boss being Bill Belichick, after the 2006 season, or after 2005, excuse me. Belichick locks him out of the building. You can't come and get your things. This guy who was supposedly raised at your knee because I don't like the job that you took. You'll be in the division. You made my life harder. I'm not surprised that that person now in the media with an ability to take shots at Woody Johnson, who came out right of his mouth when they were talking to McAfee yesterday. First thing, not the head coach, not the quarterback, certainly. I'm not surprised, no, Fred, that Belichick is being petty.
That's the answer because, maybe people and fans wanted to think of him as this great person and being above all that, but he's always been this way. And there's another reporter whom I won't mention because I don't know if he's ever talked about it publicly, but got shut out of Gillette Stadium for something that happened, and that really messed with his life. And Bill didn't need to do that. That wasn't necessary. The transgression wasn't even a transgression. Someone was just doing their job, but then they got barred from Gillette for a time. So I think that type of petty stuff is on brand. You're just seeing it now, and you don't have this chorus of voices watching him coach every week, immediately running to his defense saying, you don't know what you're talking about, he's a great person. No, this is the way he's always been.
Well, because he can't win games, right? You're in the media just like the rest of us.
Yeah,
you got the spotlight on. We're listening to what you're saying. You're evaluating.
There's no scoreboard for him now that he can point to and say, and fans can point to and say, see, doesn't matter because look at that. Well, look at what? Look at him going on Pat McAfee? No.
Yeah, and the thing is that you can rest on your history of being the greatest coach of all time if you're resting on your history of being the greatest coach of all time. Like if you're like, I've done. No, but if you're like, no.
Oh,
my point is, if you're like, I've done it all.
Yeah.
Like F you, like it's done. It's been done. I'm done. But this like desperate clinging is not is not a heroic way of ending your career. Like it's this gnawing to get back into things and stuff. It would be great if Belichick just put his feet up and just sat back and went, none of you are going to win this many Super Bowls in my lifetime. And if you do, I'll be dead. Double Freedom Rockets. F you. Hey, Kraft, and just like started like openly attacking everyone, it would be fantastic. It would make my job a ton easier. But it's still like trying to have it both ways. It's being snarky without like coming right out and saying it. It's being so fallible in your personal life while like not any self-reverence like or any self like acknowledgement that like, yeah, dude, this is all weird. Like I know this isn't on brand. Everything is completely off brand.
So two things on this. Number one, I would say something I said a while ago, that I think if you talk long enough into a microphone, like you can't put on forever. People pick up on who you are more likely than not. You're starting to see that with Belichick. I think, again, locally, we're hypersensitive to this. We know the guy. You understand his motives. People are very aware of how the dynasty buried him, everything that I just mentioned with Kraft going on the podcast and other instances, that the guy probably feels aggrieved. But number two, doesn't it say to you, Fred, that you sound upset about a guy you have open disdain for? Is just not smarter than this, because you can say whatever you want about him being petty or a jerk or this and that. You know he's a football genius and an intellectual aside from that. And you're like, why are you doing these dumb mistakes? Why are you making these unforced errors that I get on Gerard Mayo all the time, PR-wise, which is not like my job. I'm just saying, hey, this media stuff isn't that hard. You're doing the same to Belichick, and that's a credit and a respect to what you think of him as being a smart person who, in this instance, in your opinion, just can't get out of his own way.
Yes, it's troubling you on your overall
you want better
view
for
of
Bill.
humanity.
That's what this is. It's out of love, I think.
No, I don't like hypocrites. I don't like phony people. I think it's incredibly easy to hide under a veil of look at how wonderful I am when no one is, and then I think he's exposing himself to what he truly is on a big scale, and I don't know why everyone isn't just saying like, you phony prick, like look at you, you're worse than me. You're not better than me, you're worse than me. But that's my own nonsense.
I don't think you'll hear that anywhere nationally. I don't hear it a ton locally, except when I come in here, to be honest.
You could go see Tony Hinchcliffe palling around with Pat McAfee. You think he just being like that? Talking about eating cats and dogs, that Tony Hinchcliffe.
Let's
With
talk
his
about
watermelon jokes during the rally.
Let's talk about receivers. Let's talk about what's going on with Drake May. Let's talk about
we'll talk about other stuff. We'll get it. We'll dig into it. Don't you worry. All right, Andrew Callahan.
You got to get him off this Belichick thing.
I got a couple stats.
He's in a weird place.
Get me off of it. I'm going crazy. All right, we'll be right back.
If you like that clip, and how could you not? Check out more videos from Toucher and Hardy here. Point slightly up and to the left. For more Patriots analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. Point slightly down and to the left. And for the latest from the Sports Hub, download at 985thesportshub.com.